started the organization in March 2005 because basically there were no animal welfare protection agencies here in Shanghai. I started to work with a local group, but it turns out that they were all scam artists. A lot of crime going on, a lot of bribery, embezzlement, and I realized the only way to do it was to start my own among expatriates, so that's how it began. We have about 500 members. We have meetings that attract about 80 people every month, so it's going very well. We have a very good board of directors and a management of directors. The more donations we have, the more foster care parents we have, the larger this organization can grow.
So, man, that was easy. I mean, instead of shelling out several hundred kuai per cat every time the kids brought somebody home, I just helped out with SCAA instead.
We've come a long way in 1 year. We're up to about 300 animal adoptions. But it doesn't sound like much, but it's more successful than most shelters in the world. In terms of how many we've adopted out successfully with healthy animals. And every animal is an individual, so that's 300 animals, 300 foster parents.
Then one day I found out about the SCAA from a friend. They had the Baoshan trip on a Sunday morning, and I decided to go out. Had no intention of bringing home a dog, just was going out for the very first time. I wasn't a volunteer for an hour when I decided I absolutely could not live without her. So I offered to foster her.
So we urge people to come to us for animals that have been vetted and they're healthy, they've been to the vet and taken care of in foster homes.
And every cat who came in had massive problems. They would have fleas, they would have lice, they would have skin fungus diseases, they would be malnourished. So the first thing we do is take them to the vet and get all the major diseases taken care of, get them immunized, and then when they're old enough, get them all fixed.
Here in China, one of the problems is lack of education. It's a developing economy. And in countries like this, you begin by taking care of your family first, like every country. And it's only when your own development and your own financial security is set that you can actually look to the environment and think about animal welfare. Well, a lot of people criticize China on many countries in Asia about animal welfare, but it's worldwide. There are animals abandoned everywhere in this world. You don't have to go past your own back door to find animal cruelty and abandonment. Oh, pet sales and pet markets are a huge problem here, and our organization is we boycott them, and we ask all of our members and anybody who listens to not go to pet markets, not go to pet stores. Most of them are not licensed, and all of the animals, the puppies and kittens, are coming from puppy mills and kitten mills, horrific places.
So we've just come here filming this documentary for the SCAA to the pet markets, and out the front is this poor little kitten who has been abandoned. She's obviously too sick to be sold, so like a lot of animals here who reach that stage, she's just thrown out onto the street. Obviously we couldn't leave her.
It's a torturous thing to walk away from a starving or animal with sunstroke, but every time somebody buys one of these animals, it's condoning the practice. Education is the key, so SCA, we work a lot with schools with roots and shoots, 130 local schools.
She's been to my classroom. She's my model dog for my grade 1s and 2s during my Kindness to Animals unit. They all got to see the proper way to greet dogs, and she was just the perfect student, this perfect model dog.
But hopefully we'll be able to work with children more, work with schools more, influence the government in the future about animal protection.
There's 80 Chinese students at my school that if you ask them about the best dog in the world, they'll all say Ruthie.
So now we're going to take this little fella to PAWS, which is the organization that works very closely with the SCAA. They provide good, reliable help for the animals, veterinary care, and they give discounts and look after the animals that the SCAA are trying to help and rescue.
If you find an animal, you're responsible for it. It's a terrible thing to be the head of a shelter or be a veterinarian at a shelter, because you're making choices of life and death every day about which animals to keep and which animals to put down. And people think they're doing a good thing by bringing an animal there, that they've saved a life. But actually they're just shirking responsibility. They pick up an animal, give it to somebody else to take responsibility for. It's up to the local people to go to their governments and protest this. Eventually, governments will have to stop this. Eventually, there'll be animal protection, animal welfare laws in China. Some places are already beginning to implement these. And I believe in the future it'll be much like anywhere else in the world. There are protection laws in the U.S. and England and Europe. dogs have only been allowed to be pets for the last 15 years here legally. The young generations are not accepting this anymore. More and more people have pets. So I've been in Asia for about 25 years, and a lot of us who started out young in one country are older now in other countries. And the O'Malley's, the theme park company, Sasha's O'Malley Zapata, is our biggest sponsor. To provide us with the venue. We have monthly meetings, we have adoption days, we have big fundraising events, and we're completely dependent on donations. We're a 100% volunteer group except for our IT. Our website is paid for maintenance. But other than that, we're completely dependent on donations from people.
You just adopted him today?
No, last week. No, 2 weeks ago, but we brought him back just for the reunion.
This is one of our successful stories. Do you know the story behind
10 days old, wasn't it, I think?
I think it was dumped somewhere.
Yeah, dumped. Oh, definitely.
It was dumped 10 days old, and we had somebody find him, provide immediate foster care and medical care.
Took him on after 9 weeks, and we've had him for 2 now. And he's cute, very cute, and house trained in the last 2 weeks.
What we can't understand is how anybody could abandon animals like this that are just so precious.
And he is so cute and lovable.
What's his name?
Very original, Puppy.
Puppy. Oh, you're Puppy. Okay, you're Puppy.
You're just called Puppy, aren't you?
This is what SCAA is all about, saving these little guys and finding them homes. And one at a time. It's a long process, anywhere from 2 weeks to 10 months, where between the time we find an animal, get it medical care, heal it.
So we've been to Paws and had him checked out, Steve checked out, an upset stomach, so he's got diarrhea, he's got worms, he's in intensive care. We have to bath him once a day, put cream on his ringworm every hour. We have to give him some medicines for his diarrhea and worms. I think he will. I hope he does.
Many of the animals are very, very sick when we get them, and we are very dedicated foster care parents who spend months on each animal. But the problem here in China, in the pet stores and the markets, is just a turnover. It's a money market turnover, and they're not concerned at all about the animal's health. So every time we save one of these babies, it's very fulfilling.
So during the adoption day, I was terrified somebody was going to adopt her, so every hour I was calling, did anybody adopt her yet? Did anybody adopt her yet? Please say no. So when Kat told me there was, I guess, somebody that was looking to adopt her, the first thing I could think of was, no, she's mine. And told them, okay, I'm adopting her. You can't get her out. She's mine. So she's been with me ever since.
We're known as the organization in Shanghai to come to about anything from pet relocation to import-export, animal welfare, protection legislation. So we're a bit of a smorgasbord of all kinds of information. We have a website that we're very proud of, www.scaashanghai.org. Can also on that website is all of our contact numbers, my number, all of our directors. We have 5 wonderful directors now and a board of directors. I wrote this book with the idea of sharing some experiences as a Western businesswoman in Asia for 26 years. But in my entire life, and I've been raised to believe in this, that unless you're giving back to the community, unless you're doing charity work or making a big difference in this world, then all the money that you make means nothing. So for me, having this DVD included in the book is as important to me as the book itself, because I hope to spread the word of SCAA animal protection. And wherever you are in the world, do some kind of charity work, whatever your passion is. And if you love animals, we urge you to get involved with your local animal organization. Foster care, donations, even time and love in whatever you believe in is very important.